more as that evaporation starts to happen. We got a few positions we can put people in. In the phlebotomy chair, it's often easiest just to hold the end, but look at the hand at different angles because sometimes they'll show up better in people in different positions. So they can also be down like this. You can do this, but make sure you got a stable patient. If poor little Gertrude slips her hand on off, there goes your whole setup and your needle and she can get hurt. So always be cautious of that. You may see some people do this thing where they hold the hand. There's a big problem with that. When they let go to reach for their stuff, yeah, they can get a pretty good anchor, but when they let go, if the patient relaxes their hand, the whole setup can move again. So usually for me, I'm usually a hold at the end. Now assembly, ignore the fact that I have a tourniquet on, guys, human practice dummy. You would of course follow your 1-minute timers. Assembly, this I recommend doing in advance actually, as opposed to our other needle, because it takes a little longer. So this is our safety. We want to be careful not to slide this up while we're doing this. I like to straighten out my tubing and make sure there's no big kinks that are going to be a problem. We assemble our hub like normal. Remember, if this comes off, it's okay. This is where we would have put our syringe, right? So we can just pop this right back on there. Really, that's all that takes. For you guys, when you get more experience, which by the way, we have these bumps. Notice these two little pieces go together in the back. If we pinch these up together and get up top, these bumps tell us our bevel is up. Now you'll see phlebotomists out there with more experience after they stick, they may hold their hub like this, or they may hold their hub like this, or even stick like this. They're a little more used to you guys than seeing the flash. I don't want you guys to worry about this too much. I'm just gonna have you guys set it to the side. You can set your tube in there, but don't push it on the gray. That way you don't have to fight as much with getting it in here and you're not playing chase with it. This is where these flanges matter, guys, because you want to be able to take this and pop this right on like this, right? Now, normally when we're anchoring, we can pull, whether it's 1 finger, 2 finger, 1 broad finger, we can pull here, we can even pull over here as long as it's all below the height of our needle. When they talked in our book about not making a C, it was an old way of drawing the butterfly. People would do this. But what's the risk of this up here? It can get stabbed. So again, everything below the height, it can affect our needle. Good hard anchor. This is actually my juicier vein, but see me push on it, see how it wants to move right off the bat. So as I come in with my needle, if I'm not anchored well, it's gonna push it away from the needle. So this is where going in a little quicker matters as well. Obviously on a self stick, I can't anchor here much. We can anchor here, and even from my perch, if I need to, I can use these fingers to help me anchor over as well, which is all I'm gonna get here in this self stick. So let me give myself an actual real clean. Yes, I know I look awful in color here.
Yeah, it looks like it's about to.
So my middle vein is actually the more stable one. Again, I can't really anchor. When your hands are wet, obviously you guys will have gloves on. These can be a little trickier to get a hold of. It's okay as long as you get a good pinch. And again, we would normally be in a slightly different position. I'm having you guys look here, because when I do the hand draw, that's the part you guys can't really see. So 5 degrees, you can see I've nearly set it on the skin. It's not much. Almost flat. 5 degrees. Careful on the table, guys. I have a live needle. Barely enough lift, because all I need to do is break through that skin and slip on in. There's our flash. Again, normally you guys are never gonna let forward. Look what happens when you let go. My whole bevel's turned, right? But you'll see old timers do this out there. I even just felt the vibration in my vein from the vein wall. Let me retake control. Once you're in and you get that flash, sometimes it doesn't want to come down. We just have to figure out what makes it happy. This is that 3-dimensional thinking. Am I just lightly against a vein wall? Do I need to back up a hair? And the goal, like I said, once it hits the tube, we can undo our tourniquet. Of course, we would not be letting go. I'm operating one-handed here. Yeah, I know, this is fun. Take off that tube still, hover, don't cover. We pull this guy. Now the safety on this is a little different. Let me stop bleeding for a second. You guys are gonna wanna be quicker about getting to this safety than I am. No, because you don't have gloves on. So notice I'm keeping full control. As I move down, I'm moving to this trapezoid. If I move to here, this whole needle could dip down and stab me. So full control, slide this guy up till it clicks. There's usually a drop of blood in the tip of this. You wanna make sure you do it over the blue pad, so if that drop comes out, it's on here, not the table. And then see, I still bleed. That's why it's gonna take me a second here. So that's the way I show you guys without the person in front. If I had gone for this other vein, which is the one I usually use for display, because I usually save this middle one in case you guys need one-on-one, but it's actually the more stable vein. That other one I usually have to chase and adjust for. If I needed to